contract with the Red Sox. The deal includes opt-outs and deferred money. Bregman's right-handed bat does have a track record of success at Fenway Park. He's expected to play at second base after primarily playing at third for the Astros since 2020. Boston already has star Rafael Devers at third. Padres filled a major need in their starting rotation, agreed with veteran right-hander Nick Pivetta, 4 years, $55 million. NBA, the Kings, searching for a point guard since the De'Aaron Fox trade, agreed to a deal with free agent and former number 1 overall pick Markelle Fultz, Sacramento 9th in the West. The United States plays its first game in the NHL's Four Nations face-off tonight versus Finland, 8 Eastern, ESPN.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain. Every game, all season, right here on your home for Alabama basketball, the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Can't get a ticket? Never miss a second of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
It's to Alger. Alger back to Ruffin. Over to Buster. Who you gonna call? Buster Larson with the winner.
With the Havoc Zone. Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. Joe Hunk. John Abraham. 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome into the Blitz. John Abraham, Cap Cool, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight on Sports Talk. Here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe, we got ourselves a little bit of a interesting episode today.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a little bit. It feels like it's the third hour, but it's not.
Feels like a Friday as well.
It feels like a Friday. It actually is a Friday for my son.
Good for him.
No, not good for. Well, yes, good for him, but not good for everybody else. Because there's. Give me a second. I've got to think about how I'm going to say this.
Well, give me a second because my camera decides to follow me as I go into the studio and then come back into the control room.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm slowly getting it back. Now it's on me. You guys go and check out WZZN TV as we got pretty interesting things going on over there. You can also find us on Facebook at 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as on X at 97.7 ESPN, where you're going to get all the information you need to know about upcoming programming, as well as all the in-betweens, which includes, of course, Alabama basketball. As I'm only going to have to make one post this weekend, Joe, with whoever, is playing each other. Of course, Alabama versus Auburn, which
did you know that game was happening on Saturday?
I did.
Okay, just double checking.
Just like I knew that Ryan Williams was 17 for the entirety of his first season.
Hey, we
Alabama.
Can't say that anymore.
We can't. He's 18 now.
He is 18.
Irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
Yes. No more of this. Man's only 17. What's bad about it is now anytime anybody is 17, they're always going. That's always now going to pop up just because of the Ryan Williams thing.
Just wait until they're 16 playing college football. But, I mean, who says they can't?
Well, I mean, I will say, he reclassified. Like Ryan, I didn't have to reclassify. I was 17 years old, and in college.
Well, when's your birthday?
My birthday is August 26th.
Okay.
So it's literally like 5 days before the cutoff.
So you were a young senior.
I was always the youngest. I was 16 and a senior.
How did that feel? Because I was also pretty young.
Sucked.
I was April 20th is my birthday. All right.
Sucked because everybody else in my grade is driving their sophomore year, and I had to wait until my junior year to start driving. And then everybody else is getting ready for because some of them were 18 and there were some clubs around Huntsville that would let some 18-year-olds in, and I couldn't even go to that because I was 17. So couldn't even do that. No, I was in college, graduated, everything. I didn't move up or anything. 17 years old. I was a freshman in college.
I got my first car after high school, but I was driving the Shag back in high school, but I was also sharing it with my brothers. All right. So I was sharing the Shag with my brothers.
Getting weird.
But no, Tommy used to drive this thing around fields. He used to do a lot of work for just random people. And I remember the Shag got beat up, and it's a 2004 Ford Expedition. It can handle some of the punches, but at the same time, whenever I'm driving to school, and there's like a bush stuck, just wedged underneath the vehicle, it can mess with some of the sound. But regardless of that, I was still able to drive to school every once in a while. So that was always a great thing. Yeah. I was a little bit younger, but I was able to get it done, move on after my tennis career, and of course go into college at the College of Motlow. I started at Motlow, went to UAH. So there's a little bit of a backstory for the Captain Cool. Regardless of that, you guys are able to join in. Talk about some of your backstories as well. 256-576-9077. Oh, I was finally got the relief of that because I was itching during talking
every
ball.
Single time.
You were doing the number.
Every single time. I could see you looking over the computer. That's my part. That's my part.
Tonight on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, as well as the Charger Zone, you're going to be able to listen to UAH as they're facing off against CBU. Christian Brothers. There they are, the
Christian Brother Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be able to listen to both women's and men's basketball. So it's going to be a good one.
You know what's difficult about this women's game? Because with Scott working at the VBC all day, I'm going to be on the call for the women's basketball game. Nice. I'm going to be helping Steve with the men's game over at Spraggins Hall.
No stranger to UAH, Joe.
No, definitely not. I spent a lot of time around UAH, and the thing about the women's game is there is a ton of pressure on the women's team and Coach Sharp as they're getting ready for this game. Obviously, they've only lost 4 games this year. They're having an absolutely amazing season. But the other part is the reason why there's a lot of pressure for the women's team going into this game. It's going to tip off at 5:30. Is because CBU, it's not because they're one of the best teams in the country. It is because they are arguably the worst team in the country.
Ooh, it's one of these types of games.
And they are 0-21.
Wow. That's their overall record?
They have not won a basketball game since last January 13th.
A little bit of pressure. Just a little bit of pressure.
So it's kind of like that whole thing of
don't fall into a trap. You don't want to fall into that trap. You don't want to be the team that loses to the winless Christian Brothers.
You're like, I do not want to be that team.
Well, hopefully.
Do not want to be the team that loses to it. So yeah.
If this team follows the same track that they have been against, Mississippi College, Delta State, they should be in a pretty good setting to win this one. Of course, at Kelly Court, at Spraggins Hall. Again, listen to that one over on the Charger Zone. So you got to make sure you have our apps downloaded, 97.7 ESPN, over on the App Store as well as the Google Play Store. And then on top of that, Talk Radio WZZN, where you'll get a little bit of that extra coverage, as well as Fox News, as they're going to bring you guys all of the information you need to know, not just about sports, but about the country.
Yes, and speaking of the country, there's a lot of people that are getting ready for tomorrow, because there's that whole day of crap.
What is tomorrow again? I'm working all day, Joe. I'm working all day because somebody decided to jump out.
It's a fake made up holiday. It's a fake made up holiday. Thing is when you went to school,
it's a full moon tonight, by the way.
Oh, barbecue.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that connects perfectly.
When you were doing Valentine's when you were younger,
oh my gosh, I was an expert at it. Joe, do you know I had 12 plus girlfriends when I was in 6th grade? Not at the same time, because that's wrong. But I made sure I kept count. Maybe I'm a terrible person for that one, but
you're not. You're a guy.
Yeah, I was a salesman.
What did you for Valentine's Day? What did you guys do in the class?
So what we used to do, and I'll just tell you the one that I remember the most. We used to make boxes. All right.
Okay.
And I remember making a number 88 Dale Earnhardt Jr. amped, energy drink. Remember amped, by the way? I don't even that takes it back. I mean, we don't think about actually drinking it. But it was an amped energy drink, 88 Dale Earnhardt Jr. car that you just popped in your little envelopes or your candies. And that's what we did around the class. We just walked to the different desks and dropped it in, similar to the Simpsons episode.
What did you do with the cards? Like, did you go buy your cards? What did you do?
I think I got like a huge pack at Walmart. That was just like a very small, card that you could open up. It said to, from, boom.
And they were like themed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, didn't know if that still happened in the 2000s, because like in the 90s, that's what we did. And we would go to Walmart or we'd go somewhere and they're like, okay, pick out the theme.
Yeah.
And so one year it'd be like Ninja Turtles.
NASCAR.
And it'd be NASCAR for you. And then you'd have like, then one year it would be like Wrestling for Me, or it would then be like Ghostbusters. It would just be this given pack where you had everything in there and it was all self-done. Like, am I the only one that is now curious about why on earth are parents making these things? My wife and I stayed up for almost 2 extra hours last night because my wife wants to make Valentine's Day cards for not only
cards.
Yes.
You got to get like cardstock.
Yes.
Got to get some printer paper.
Which I totally stole from here.
Some glue.
Yes.
Joe, that's coming out of your paycheck, by the way, now that we all know.
No, I gave some of it. It was only 12 sheets.
Oh, it's
so
tax
it
write-off.
was, and so it was, no. So yeah, so she sends me these things. I have to print them off. And she goes, hey, I need your help with this tonight. I'm like, what the heck is like, what are we doing? She
You're
goes,
working overtime.
oh, this
Joe.
is the Valentine's Day cards for this. And I'm going, why aren't we just doing the Walmart thing where we just go and we let him pick out Spider-Man, Valentine's Day cards? Says like, let me web you or something like that. Wait, that may be bad. I web you. Is it? No, wait, that's bad
that's
too.
Terrible.
Dang it.
Oh.
Anyways, so you do this and like this was been so much easier.
Wait. If he got like a Hulk theme.
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
These are kids we're talking.
Yeah, these are kids. But it's just like, why don't we do this? Instead, she has these custom cards that she created, that I printed out, that she cut, that I was helping tie at like 11 o'clock last night because she had to have this thing ready. And my son has like 18 kids in the class. And so we had to make 18 of these things. And then, my daughter, who doesn't even speaks more than 6 words and has a crush on John, has like 7 kids in the class, and we had to make some for her too. Why couldn't we have just done the Walmart thing?
She's like not even 2 years old.
She's
she goes to
not,
class?
and she's in daycare.
Oh, I gotcha.
The
kids aren't going to remember this. The brains aren't even fully developed. Mine isn't either. I'm getting close though. 25 years
mine
old.
isn't, and I'm older than you. But I'm just. When did this start? Why did we start having when did mom start doing all this stuff for it? And why couldn't we just go to Walmart and have him get like Spider-Man ones like a normal human being?
Well, Joe, it's more authentic. The women are going to, the girls are going to love it. All right. They're going to look at this kid and they're going to be like, this kid spent his nights before coming to school. We all don't want to be here, to make us handcrafted Valentine's cards. That's why it's special. That's why your wife knows she's helping her son in the long run.
You can always go to WZZN TV and you can watch. And if I can figure out, because this is a PDF and I can't really apparently upload a PDF.
Just turn it to a JPEG.
Yeah,
just go and do that on Canva.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is she has this. Would you like to know what the actual card is that she's made? That we had to put together last night at like
the theme of it,
what it says.
I mean, there's millions and millions of different options, Joe. You expect me, you quiz me and I love it, Joe, but I am not going to be able to answer.
If you were a teenager in 2020, or you were a little kid, I should say, in 2024.
I got one. Can you skibbity my toilet? Can you be the skibbity to my toilet? Can you be the
John, what are
Can
you saying?
Can you be the whip to my nay? Hypothetically, if I were a tree, would
Okay,
you sit by me?
that last one was actually kind of funny. I will give you the last one. The last one is kind of funny.
Do the kids still do the whipping
Yeah,
the nay?
yeah, no, that not bad. That one's definitely not bad. But no, it was I value your friendship.
You got chips? Is he giving away chips, not candy?
It comes with a bag of chips.
Okay.
I value your friendship.
Well, so he's putting everybody in the friend zone. That's what we're seeing here.
He
Which
needs to,
honestly,
because there are way too many girls that like him right now.
This is a power play. All right.
There are way too many, man.
Because the more that he doesn't show interest in the next level, the more those those girls are going to want to chase him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's a little bit of friendly advice.
Yeah.
Friendship.
I value your friendship.
It's not bad. I'll give it a B.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have I'm working on the picture right now. It is I love your friendship.
Close enough.
Yeah, I love your friendship.
Well, I love our callers. I love our listeners.
Yeah.
And the phone lines are going to be wide open for you guys all throughout the show. Going to be chilling out with me and Joe. 256-576 97.7 is the number.
There it is up on is a cruel. Yeah.
To get in.
I love our friendship. Happy Valentine's Day.
I can't say I'd be too upset about that.
Halfway through this,
Got sunglasses
I was
too?
questioning every friendship I've ever had. I didn't want any more friendships. I was over friendships.
Yeah, too much cholesterol, if you're asking me.
256-576-977. I also, John, have a confession to make when we come back.
Oh, geez. Well,
These are my confessions.
I didn't want to hit a break so soon because we didn't even prep any of the conversations we'll get into.
It's okay.
College basketball stories.
We're winging it, man.
Free agency, of course, in the NFL, as well as in the MLB, is the top-ranked free agent from the MLB. Has been traded. He's been picked up.
He signed with the Red Sox with a very unique deal. It's like,
Lucrative.
I love you, but I'm not really in love with you.
Well, no, I mean, but that's what we see with a lot of players who are getting a little bit older.
It's like it's like a college basketball deal where both sides have like an out after every single season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those.
Something unlike Aaron Rodgers. But either way, we will get into all of that and more as we continue on with the Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
AL certain number 21014.
Are you trying to keep your house hot and steamy this Valentine's Day? Talent Heating and Air has just the moves to make it happen.
That's right. We'll turn that raw gas into heat in your house.
So don't let that love of your life be left out in the cold this Valentine's Day. Keep it warm with Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, the love line is open.
256 503-4490.
And on the World Wide Web.
That's talenthvac.com. No ID required.
That's Talent Heating and Air, keeping your Valentine's extra warm with love, courtesy of Talent Heating and Air.
Oh, yeah.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education, and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That there's an honest-to-goodness chandelier in your tailgate tent? Perhaps. But it means more than that. It means pioneering medical solutions to predict new flu viruses. It means leading globally diverse teams to eliminate starvation in developing countries. And it means being home to one of the nation's top cybersecurity programs. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy and overcast sky this afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. We're also going to spend the afternoon dry. What a nice change of pace across the Tennessee Valley. We are going to be cooler, though. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. A couple of folks could see the lower 50s. It's going to be a cold night across the area. We're dropping into the mid and upper 20s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back in to the most energetic show here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester. It's the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk. You know the deal. Phone lines open to you, 256-5764. 97.7, the number 2. Get in. And before we get into the conversation, I'd like to remind you that we got a lot of zone deals over on Big Zone Deals, and they're selling quick. So head on over there and get yourself some Full Moon Barbecue, Lawler's Barbecue, trying to get even more barbecue over there, as well as some fun like Flow, as well as Divergence VR Theme Park, which there are only a few of those left. So make sure you go over and nab those before they are gone for maybe, who knows, they could be gone forever. So you want to get that, check that out. It's a very fun experience over there at Divergence VR Theme Park. If you've never tried VR, then you definitely gotta at the best place for it here in North Alabama. Also like to remind you that the show is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Joe,
sup?
You were talking like there's some NHL going on. I forget, when there's the NBA, when there's college basketball, I really just think about college basketball, but there's some NHL stuff, and I usually don't turn my ties there until the postseason.
Well, and I myself only like casually watch, like I'll have Preds games on and all that whenever we're not doing Havoc stuff. And yesterday on Tom's show, or 2 days ago, I should say, he started talking about this Four Nations thing that was supposed to start last night.
It did. Canada, Sweden.
Canada, and the USA plays tonight against Finland, which is I'm kind of torn on, because obviously I would love USA to always win and everything.
Of course. Are you Finlandish or something?
The goalie for Finland's going to be UC Saros.
Oh, that okay.
Of the Preds.
Makes sense.
So I'm like,
well, hope that it's like a 2-1 game, like it's a low scoring game.
Let's just go 1-0. Let's end in shootout. Like, I don't know, whatever it is. But last night I get home and little man's playing PlayStation, Spider-Man, what he always plays.
Of course.
And so my daughter and I were kind of hanging out in the living room and we're playing games and all this. And I think she's going to be my sports addict. I really do. Like
Really?
my son, that he's going to be the entertainer. Now he may eventually kind of go over into the sports realm, but
Is it like Hank Hill looking at Bobby as he's taking a look at the TVs while Texas football's playing? And you're just like, here it is, honey.
Yeah, no, it's you just look over and be like, dang it, Bobby. Just come on. Can you not be a part of this? No.
Dang it, Ollie.
Just dang it, Ollie. Stop webbing him. I web you.
What the? That's enough. I mean, I know.
Weird Spider-Man Valentine's cards could we come up with?
Well, just
in the
one
course of 2
apparently.
hours?
Right now, just one. All right. But either way, I mean, I get why, because of all those talent heating and air commercials that are playing.
Absolutely. Now, but so I turned on the Four Nations, the first game of this, which was the one you just talked about between Canada and Sweden. I almost said Canada again. Canada and Sweden. And I actually put it on during pregame, which I never watch pregames ever. I don't care what it is. I'm the person that I want to know. I don't want to know when coverage begins.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not that guy. Coverage begins of the Super Bowl 59 at 2 a.m. No, I don't care. Let me know when the foot hits the leather. That's what I want to know. That's when I turn the game on.
I've learned about that from some of our listeners over on social media. So I make sure they know when tip-off starts and whenever pregame starts. So just letting you guys know, if you go over on our social media, you'll know when both start.
Yes. And so I say that because this time there was literally nothing on television.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter wanted to watch Bluey. I was trying to find something else. So I turned it on to the pregame of the hockey, and I actually watched this. And I really got into it. And I got into it way more than what I thought I was going to.
Well, just because we're not talking about it doesn't mean hockey's just some afterthought. It is one of the most entertaining sports to watch, especially live.
It was even cool with pregame because I understand what his history is now, and it's solidified. And I know that he is a Hall of Famer. But with Sidney Crosby and what he's done with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the championships that he's won, like, we know that he's a Hall of Famer.
I have 2 sticks in the back of the shag that are Sidney Crosby sticks, by the way. I still got to get
They
them.
signed?
No, they're
Okay,
not. But that's why they're not in the studio anymore.
Yeah.
I just took them from the old location.
Right. And he was nicknamed the next one because of, I believe it was because of the Mario Lemieux connection. Like, he was the next great one of the Pittsburgh Penguins, if I remember the connection.
Yeah,
right.
well, they can't call him the kid anymore. I mean, the kid's
Sid the kid,
he's over 30 years old now. So.
Yeah, and matter of fact, he's almost 40 years old.
Wow. He's 37 years old.
He was born in 1987. He's 37 years old.
No kid.
But they had a really amazing shot because Sidney Crosby, playing for Team Canada, standing on the ice, ready to go right before the national anthem, and Mario Lemieux walks out with the banner for Team Canada, and they have this amazing shot that's kind of like focused on Mario Lemieux, but it has Sidney Crosby in the background or in the foreground. So it's kind of like one of those past and present for the Pittsburgh Penguins things.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's really kind of cool. Like, and it's a past and present for Team Canada. It's like, that's kind of a really cool shot. And so I started getting into it. Now the game was I want to say it was in Montreal last night. So it was a 1000% Canadian arena that this was being played in. I got into every single second of that game.
I'm so glad.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's like, I know it's not the Olympics or anything. And maybe I'm starting to understand why the players were so into wanting to have country versus country and not have like, oh, the Metropolitan Division versus the Central Division versus like, I'm starting to see that because there was so much passion and energy inside of that arena last night for those two teams that I just went, okay, I'm in now. I'm totally in on this.
And I want to say, like, this Canadian team is absolutely stacked. I mean, you have Sidney Crosby, which is pretty big, but I wouldn't even say he's the biggest name in NHL right now because they also have McKinnon from, I believe, Colorado. He's still playing at Colorado. On top of that, you go down Connor McDavid. They have Mark Stone from Las Vegas. They also have Cale McCarr. And then on top of that, Sam Reinhart from Florida, as well as Theodore, who is currently playing for Vegas as well, which is, again, a pretty stellar team.
With Alvin and Simon.
Yes. No,
not with them. But what was crazy is you mentioned Nathan McKinnon. He scored the first goal.
I didn't even bring up Brad Marchand, who, of course, is on my favorite team, the Bruins.
Of course it is. And so it was Nathan McKinnon that scored the first goal. The assist went to Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid. So it was Sidney Crosby to McDavid to McKinnon. Like, you're just basically the entire NHL in one goal.
Yep.
That was all it was. But I was 1,000% in on this now. I am so ecstatic. Like, I know that USA is playing tonight, and I know it's just kind of this is just really just kind of a fun thing. But Kyle Connor is going to be playing for Team USA, and I'm now all in. I am all in on this, and I hate that I'm all in on this. I genuinely do, because I was not going to be the person that's like, oh, this is just a stick. Like, I don't care anything about it. No, this was really fun to watch last night.
Yeah, and a part of it could have been, of course, the jerseys that they're rocking, because it's color on color. It's red versus yellow last night. Kind of reminded me of if the Red Wings played off against the Predators and it was a color rush type of game. That's what I get from this one. I can't say that I'm 100%, a fan of, the look on the ice, but I will say, gonna see USA's uniforms tonight. That's going to be really fun.
No, it is going to be fun. The game is going to start at 7 p.m. This one's also going to be in Montreal. So I want to see how many Americans travel across the border just to go to the game in this way. The only critique that I kind of have in this, because I know that this is only like a week-long thing or 2-week-long thing, I really honestly kind of wish that Finland got a home game in Finland.
I agree.
And that Sweden got a home game in Sweden.
I was thinking the same thing. USA should also be able to play in USA. I'm trying to think of which arena they would play.
Everything's happening in the Boston Garden.
Yeah.
Or TD Ameritrade. Yeah,
Where
Boston. Yeah, it is TD Ameritrade in Boston.
Well, you just said in Canada.
No. So let me back up with this.
Okay.
So there's going to be games in Montreal, and then they're going to transition to TD Gardens in Boston.
Okay, so it's the first round that is going to stay in Quebec.
Yes.
Because that's at the Center Bell Center, whatever it's called. I don't exactly know, but regardless of that, it's definitely a lot of fun, and I'm glad you're getting into the NHL hockey, even though it's more like the national hockeys. So.
It is, but everything is going on at the Bell Center all the way up until you get to next Monday, and then they're moving to TD Garden, and when it's going to be in Boston from there on out.
Okay.
So, but I think that honestly, USA should play home games somewhere in the US. I think that Canada should have played games in Canada, obviously, and I think that when Finland and Sweden were the home teams, you should have had to travel to Finland and Sweden.
Okay.
I really believe that if you wanted to add something to this, which things already amazingly fun to watch, you add it to this, that's what they should do to this.
Well,
I would love to have seen an NHL hockey game like this in Finland and in Sweden.
Finland, I just think of Patrick saying that. Regardless, let's continue on with some of the sports we haven't touched on too much. As we can also move over to the MLB as it's getting ready for spring training.
Oh, it's going.
Joe
is going.
It actually yesterday was the start. Alex Bregman from Houston on his way to the Red Sox. You talked about this deal. It's only 1 year. And it is pretty lucrative, but again, baseball, you throw a lot of money at somebody and you can say what you will about it. But Joe, you had your own opinions on this. Let me know a little bit more.
So it's a 3-year deal, but there are outs after every single season.
Okay.
And it's about $40 million each season that Alex Bregman is going to be making. He has averaged over 25 home runs. Basically, the last 2 seasons, he's averaged over 20 home runs the last 3 years. Then if you go back to the World Series years, the 2018, 2019, when he was hitting 30 and 41, but we also know about the trash can. Mm-hmm. So it was, he's been a very productive player post trash can, which you have to say it like that because trust me, people in Major League Baseball still hold this against them. And I mean, there are stadiums that the former Houston Astros players will go into and they will get booed. They absolutely continue to get booed whenever they come up to bat. So he's been productive batting average wise. And I look at something like an OPS. He hasn't gotten over 1,000 OPS since 2019. WAR and all those things with him. It is a good solid pickup for where he's going to be playing at third base. He's also been DHing a lot. But what I'm really want to be curious about is where he is going to be playing a lot more of for this for this Red Sox team because Rafael Devers plays third base.
Yeah, I believe he's going to be shifted to third base, and there's also a possibility, or second base, and then there's a possibility of him also playing center field as he has in the past.
He did play outfield. That 2018 team, he was playing almost like it felt like he played almost every single position for the Astros.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Anthony Rendon, just you could say if you've heard this before, but he's going to miss a significant amount of this upcoming season.
No, you should just let me know when he actually is going to play.
I know, I probably should, but I want to let you know that it really has just been downhill after that 2019 season with the Nationals, and I feel like this is kind of the case with a lot of some of the bigger names that really popped up at that time, because now you look at what he's been able to do with the Angels, and he's gone from a batting average of 319 down to 242, and this is, of course, with limited play. On top of that, his home runs in 1 year with the Nationals, 34 in 2019. 2020 to 2024, only 22. I mean, when is it time to just cut ties with this type of player?
And again, baseball worlds, you're going to be obviously looking at the fact that he hasn't played in a ton of games. He hasn't played in double-digit games since 2019. But the other part with him is that he had publicly come out, man, I want to say either last year or 2 years ago, and just said that, like, his heart really isn't in baseball, like he's just kind of casual about it.
Jeez.
Exactly.
It's a hobby. It's something I think about
for
on the
a man
weekends.
that's making it at the millions of dollars that he is. Anthony Rendon should be literally the exhibit A for any reason that a Major League Baseball team should have clauses in their contract about you have to play X amount of games for you to actually get what we are paying you.
Yeah.
That's that 1,000. Now, and I know that they get paid through the season. It's like, hey, every week on a Tuesday, you're getting your check for whatever happened. And look at all the zeros. No, that is how it should be. But at the same time, there should also be a clause in there that is if you do not meet 70 games, if you don't play 85 games, if you don't play 90 or 100 games, you owe us, or that will be deducted at the end of the year that you owe us before the next season type thing that you need to pay back. That should be in contracts, because Rendon is the perfect example of a guy who had amazing seasons with the Nationals. They win the World Series. He uses that to get a massive deal to go to Anaheim.
$245 million.
And remember, this man was in a lineup with Shohei Ohtani and with Mike Trout, and he barely saw the field.
Yeah.
I would actually love to know the number of games that Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon have been on the field at the exact same time.
Well, we can use some math, and out of the 708 games he could possibly play, he's only played 257 of them with the Halos. So.
Yeah. The numbers kind of narrowed down as Mike Trout got injured.
Yeah. It's also, it's like slashed in half even more. So probably I would say 150.
Heck, let's just say I would love to see how many games that Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and Anthony Rendon were all on the field at the exact same time.
Yeah. When you think about that as your lineup, when you think about that as your field, you're actually sitting with a pretty good roster.
That's your 2, 3, 4.
Golly.
That should have been your 2, 3, 4. You should have had Rendon batting second. You should have Mike Trout batting third, and then Shohei following it up batting fourth. Or if you wanted to put Shohei batting second, Rendon batting fourth, and Mike Trout in the middle of them batting third, where he can have protection on both sides. That should have been tremendous, but it never came to fruition. And he has been injured through this whole thing. And so he is 1,000% the example that you should look at as far as teams should be able to get money back from players based on how much time you actually spend on the field.
Yeah. 256-576-97.7 is the number to get in a conversation about all the sports we don't focus enough about. And the last one I wanted to hop into before we hop into our final break of the first hour, NASCAR. Joe, we had qualifying for the Daytona 500 last night. Did you see that? Did you watch that?
Okay, this is going to be the only time this year that I'm going to say this. Okay.
Yeah, what's up, man?
You are allowed to get somebody on for NASCAR tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
If you want.
We probably have enough guests, but honestly,
if you want.
I'm going to see if I can try and snag somebody. But Chase Briscoe brings Toyota their first pole victory in Daytona. And this is also going off of Joe Gibbs Racing as well. Their first pole since Bobby Labonte back in 1997. But this is the very first for Toyota. And if you guys know, Chase Briscoe, he was not running with Joe Gibbs last season. He was with Stuart Haas riding the 14 car. It was decent. I mean, he was middle of the pack type of dude. But now in his new whip, the Toyota Camry, he's able to hit that 49.218 time on the oval, as well as hitting 182 miles per hour. Who says NASCARs don't go fast? Joe, why do you have so much disdain towards the great American race?
I don't have disdain about it. It's just that as you were talking about that, I started to glaze over in my eyes.
You were crying. You were getting sad because you heard Bobby Labonte and you're like, I love that guy, especially when he drove the Ask.com car.
So I was listening to you talk about all of this, and it was making my mind hurt. And it was one of those that my mind was trying to keep up with everything you were saying. So it started to make me sleepy. And I don't need that today.
Joe, don't fall asleep, bro. I sit down on Sunday, all right? And I'm going to enjoy cars driving in a circle for 3 hours, 4 hours straight, all right? It's going to be wonderful. You should turn it on for a second. You might as well because, there's not as many things going on this weekend.
I am 1,000%. I will turn on the Daytona 500. Yes. I absolutely will.
Thank you.
I always do. I do.
You should come and have a little charcuterie with me.
It's the 700 other races after that I don't pay attention to, outside of the ones that happen in the state of Alabama.
Talladega.
Yeah, I will pay attention to Talladega and I will pay attention to Daytona.
I will admit
that's it.
Super speedways are a little bit more fun, and Bristol's pretty good too.
No, Bristol's fun for a totally different reason, because it does look like, even though we found out a few years ago that it's definitely not, it looks like you're having a NASCAR race in a football stadium. But once you actually put a football stadium in there, you kind of realize how big Bristol really is.
Yes.
Because when Tennessee and Virginia Tech played there, I was like, wow, that looks really small.
Yeah. Biggest football game attendance ever. 140,000 people, I think, were in there, which is kind of wild to me. Might have been a little bit less than that. I know I did a list on that a while back. So if you can find it over on WZZN TV, tweet it to us over at 97.7 ESPN, or me personally, who is still trying to change my Twitter handle because Joe,
just start a new one.
I have so many guys that we get on the show now. I would hate to have to do that again.
No, you keep that one, because you can create another one and you can have it on your same app.
CPT Cool 420.
Just create a new one. Just create
a
new one.
Looking back on it now, I probably should have made it a different name.
The name that we are wanting to get, and I'm not saying it because somebody will go ahead in the Tennessee Valley and will 100% go grab this one.
Especially the people listening up on ESPN Winchester.
Yeah, no, they
hooligans.
They absolutely will. And Tara hops in, by the way, who is a huge Huntsville Havoc fan. She even said the OT battle was fire between Canada and Sweden last night.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, I didn't think I would get into it. I really got into it. May be the nation versus nation.
No, it's just hockey.
It may have been the fact that it was in Canada and it was Team Canada playing. I don't know what it is, but man, I really got into that game.
Yeah.
I absolutely did. And with the way air travel is now, come on, we can fly to Sweden and we can fly to Finland for them to have home games in their countries, right?
You might be able to fly to Canada and catch one of these games before it's all said and done. We can.
Do we have a sponsor? Can we get a sponsor to take us?
We can. The Havoc could probably help us out with this.
Yeah, let's get the Havoc. Well, crap.
No,
they're playing on Sunday. Never mind.
We got it. We can get somebody who is in bed with the Havoc. We'll do that instead. We can try and make this happen.
Okay.
Maybe even go to Boston. I don't even care. We can go to Boston.
Oh, I'm all about going to Boston.
Okay.
The TD Gardens is probably the one place in Boston I have not been yet.
Really?
Yeah. No, I've been to Fenway a bunch of times. Stayed in a hotel right behind Fenway Park one time. Whereas it was we had the windows up because it just sounds awesome throughout the city.
Yeah.
And we were able to hear the crowd in Fenway Park sing Sweet Caroline.
Ooh.
From our hotel.
Gotta love it.
Oh, it was magnificent.
Very, very magnificent.
And speaking of Kimbrough from Talking Ball, he blew us safe. He did, man.
He's still a Hall of Famer.
No, he's still a Hall of Famer. It was just that I was planning on it because they close all the streets around Fenway, and the team store is inside of where they close all the streets.
Yeah.
They don't open them back up until after the game is over. So my wife and I, who was pregnant with our first kid, the one that, loves your friendship, she was pregnant. I left her in the hotel room because I wanted to go back and buy a hat because it was our last night there. We were watching the game. Kimbrel comes in. So I just walk down the steps from the hotel. I start making my way over because I'm like, I think it's only going to take me 3 outs to get there. Walk all the way in, and then I get right to the gate, and the guy's like, yeah, once this final pitch happens, we'll open it up. I'm like, all right, cool. Then the Rays tied it, and so I had to sit out there and wait a little bit. My wife's texting me going, he blew the save. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. I'll get you Popeyes on the way back.
It's a fun story right there.
Yeah.
We got more of them to come as we continue on with the Morning Blitz. Of course, we got to talk a little bit about Rich Rod's brand new assistant, as it does have some Alabama ties. I just want to throw that out there, as well as seeing some more of the coaching news around the country. Don't go anywhere, because you're listening to the Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa Signature Card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
College basketball today. North Alabama, 8.5-point favorites against North Florida at Flowers Hall, where the total is 165.5. Jacksonville State laying 1.5 at Sam Houston. 142.5 the total at Johnson Coliseum. South Alabama, 4.5-point home favorites with Marshall. The total 138.5. Chase Briscoe on the pole for the 67th running of the Daytona 500. 182.745 miles an hour. Briscoe 22-1 to win the Great American Race. Austin Sidrig starts on row 1. He's 25-1. Kyle Busch is the race favorite at 9-1. For more, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details. Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan? The right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankofFrankEwing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio and have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy, overcast sky this afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. We're also going to spend the afternoon dry. What a nice change of pace across the Tennessee Valley. We are going to be cooler, though. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. A couple of folks could see the lower 50s. It's going to be a cold night across the area. We're dropping into the mid and upper 20s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Now, this is one of my songs.
I told you, all you got to do is throw that rotator in. Got all of our songs in it, man.
Very nice.
All of our songs.
You know, you might not wake up with the Blitz, but we're like that second shot of espresso that you're drinking, you're just downing before you go into work.
Speaking of espresso, we have one nearby.
Oh, yeah, we do. Starbucks?
Need that.
You thinking Starbucks
See,
or Dunkin'?
See, every single morning I have, it's not like an energy drink. It's like an amino drink.
Mm-hmm.
And it always helps wake me up. Well, we're out of it right now at the house.
Hate that.
And so I'm struggling.
I don't doubt it, Joe. I am one to go for the Ghost in the back of my fridge, Swedish fish flavored.
Yeah.
Don't go and get all of those because I want those. But they help me in the morning because if I take a few sips of that, dude, I'm ready to go. And I take on the morning like it's nobody else's business.
And coming up in a minute, you're going to want to make sure that you are watching on WZZN TV, because part of the show now and what we've been doing a lot is not only are we on the radio with 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester, but it's also now visual. So we also have some things that we'll throw up on the feed that kind of helps with the conversation as we go along.
Throw up is a good way to put it, Joe. It's a really good
I may throw up when they see this next thing. Just, so go to WZZN TV if you're not eating breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you can eat breakfast and still watch. We're not actually going to show you that type of stuff on WZZN TV, but subscribe to that bad boy so you don't miss out on any of the live coverage, including, of course, the high school media days that's going to be coming up. On top of that, all of our live programming, and, of course, all of the interviews that you could want from the SEC, as well as Alabama, Auburn, and Mississippi State, which that kind of goes into my next story because I wanted to bring up some hard news. This is some tough news Dan Mullen had to break around the UNLV community, as well as, the entire nation, including Ohio State and Kentucky, because offensive lineman Ben Christman was found dead at an off-campus apartment at the age of 21. Again, played at Ohio State for his first 2 years, went to Kentucky, dealt with injury, didn't play at all, and then, of course, transferred to UNLV. And before he could even play a snap, he did make an impact, but he could not play that first snap, and that's definitely a hard situation to swallow. So thoughts and prayers going out to him.
Absolutely.
Kadarius Toney was arrested. It felt like this was kind of it was coming, Joe. I don't want to say that. He's 26 years old. This is tough. But obviously drafted by the Giants, played for the Chiefs, won 2 Super Bowls with the Chiefs. Then the memes came out whenever that season started last year. He was dropping footballs left and right. I think that was actually 2 years ago now. It's crazy to think about. Then he got picked up by the Browns, could not really find a spot, back to free agency, and now probably going to get arrested for strangulation of a woman. So,
well, you're just bringing all the sunshine.
I had to get it out. I had to get it out before we head into the second hour.
This is all of the sunshine.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to hear, but it's also news stories that we don't want to miss out on just because it's stuff that some people want to know. Of course, we have a lot of Mississippi State fans.
You don't talk about any like dogs that got ran over at this point in time. Like, I mean,
that's a different story, Joe.
Cat stuck in a tree.
Different story. Maybe
a bear that's loose somewhere. Is there anything?
We'd shift that over to like dogs of the week. Carterius Tony is that dog of the week.
Bad reason.
In the wrong reason. But regardless of that, still stories that you may need to know. As also Rich Rod got himself a new assistant QB's coach in the form of Mobile, Alabama's Pat White. Do you guys remember him? West Virginia great. On top of that, 1 year at Miami.
Wasn't he supposed to be like the next Michael Vick?
Yes, he was supposed to be.
He was supposed to be the next Michael Vick because he played for West Virginia like 2006.
Yeah, 2006 to 2008 got drafted, played 1 year, 2009 for the Miami Dolphins. Didn't actually play for them, but at West Virginia, kid was an absolute stud. If you're thinking about how college football was back in the early 2000s, 1,800. Well, altogether, he had 6,049 yards passing, 56 touchdowns, 23 interceptions across his 4 years over in the Big East, which is kind of going to transition to our next conversation in the next hour. Of course, there's no such thing as Big East football anymore.
He came in third for Mr. Football for the state of Alabama his senior year.
Wow. Good information for you. Where did he play high school football,
Daphne.
Joe? Daphne.
He was down at Daphne.
Okay.
Yep, down in Daphne. Then went to West Virginia. Eventually played for the Dolphins, Washington, and finished his career as a player with the Edmonton Eskimos.
Yeah. I think he only played in the Canadian Football League, not the NFL. More to come when we get back.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation. But did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by The Good Feet Store. The Good Feet Store, helping people get back to the life they love without their feet getting in the way. Start your journey today at goodfeet.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Following Alabama's win at Texas in men's basketball on Tuesday, head coach Nate Oates met with the media.
Wish you could shoot it like this all the time. We shot 60%. We shot 62% from the field. So, we spend a lot of time in the gym, but you get some open looks, you knock them down, and it helps the game go the way you want. So we had way too many turnovers again. That's becoming a major issue with us. Got to give Texas a lot of credit. They got into us. They were physical with us. They forced some turnovers. And I thought they played hard. We just, we got Diabate, who I'm sure they chose to leave open, goes 3 of 3 from 3. Jaron, who we know can really shoot it, but hasn't shot it this well in a game yet this year, but he did make 5 threes to send us to the Final Four last year when we beat Clemson in the Elite Eight.
I'll have more in a moment.
This is Christian Miller for the Good Feet Store. I know from playing football at Alabama and in the NFL that if you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, it can be a huge challenge. The Good Feet Store is designed to personally fit you with arch supports that alleviate and even eliminate your pain altogether. Try them before you buy them. They're in your free, no obligation, personalized fitting, and you can wear them home the same day. So if you're looking to improve your game, the Good Feet Store has you covered. Stop in for a free, personalized fitting today. Roll to victory at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. Roll Tide.
Join us this afternoon for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
College basketball today. North Alabama, 8.5-point favorites against North Florida at Flowers Hall, where the total is 165.5. Jacksonville State laying 1.5 at Sam Houston, 142.5 the total at Johnson Coliseum. South Alabama, 4.5-point home favorites with Marshall, the total 138.5. Chase Briscoe on the pole for the 67th running of the Daytona 500, 182.745 miles an hour. Briscoe 22-1 to win the Great American Race. Austin Sidrick starts on row 1. He's 25-1. Kyle Busch is the race favorite at 9-1. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy and overcast sky this afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. We're also going to spend the afternoon dry. What a nice change of pace across the Tennessee Valley. We are going to be cooler, though. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. A couple of folks could see the lower 50s. It's going to be a cold night across the area. We're dropping into the mid and upper 20s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham with you as we continue on a Thursday that's not as rainy as what it is. Now, that's going to be coming on Saturday, but doesn't matter if it's rain, snow, or anything else because Spraggins is heated. And you can be at Spraggins Hall tonight, 5:30 tip-off for the ladies, 7:30 tip-off for the men, as UAH has welcomed Christian Brothers into the Tennessee Valley, where the women are trying to make sure that they are not the one in 0-21.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect way of putting it.
They do not want to be the one. And the men are trying to remain the number 4 team in the country as they continue to roll as well. And also, you make sure that you download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. That's where you will get the Charger Zone, where you can be listening to that tonight as well. You also want the app because you want to make sure that you're listening to the Havoc Zone on Sunday when the Huntsville Havoc are back in town on home ice. Be on the call for that one as well. And just, if you want to just make it, have all 16 different sports going on at the same time, UAH men's baseball is also playing.
It's doable. You whip out your phone, you get all the different things going. Obviously, if you got a burner phone, maybe, you throw that thing on the app as well. Maybe pull up your laptop. If you got a PC, go over to our website, click on all the zones, and you might not understand what's going on, but you'll get the gist that you're at least keeping up with all the sports.
What do you mean you may not know what's going on? Alabama. You know what's going on.
Because there's 3 different sports going in your ear at the same time.
Also, the UAH baseball, they also play Christian Brothers. So this the whole bus, like the whole just athletic department is coming in from Memphis.
Which it's awesome too, because we actually finally get to hear UAH baseball this weekend, of course, starting on Friday against the Christian Brothers. You get both softball and baseball. And they're both doubleheaders.
They are. Yeah.
Have fun with that.
No. And so so as that's going on, the phone lines are wide open to you. 256-576-4977. And we're going to be talking about something John found here in just a few moments, because John has found an idea that is,
what did you find? Another idea?
Field Yates, literally 4 seconds ago. The Jets have announced that they have informed Aaron Rodgers that they are officially moving in a different direction.
So and now it's time to speculate whether he's coming back for another season or he's going to be a Cleveland Brown next year.
He needs to be a Cleveland Brown.
I don't even care if the team goes 4 and whatever. It is going to be a fun time with Aaron Rodgers on the team.
No, Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a Jet. As a matter of fact, that literally just happened. And social media is blowing up with the news that the Jets have informed Aaron Rodgers that they are going to be going in a different direction next season. That is also going in with just a little while ago that the Jets are looking for a new quarterback, and the Steelers are also looking for a new quarterback. And they apparently are talking with the Jacksonville Jaguars about potentially trading for Trevor Lawrence.
Wow. Trevor Lawrence. Do I want to, would this be a sexy pickup? I mean, would this be something? I think the national coverage would be focusing on this thing a lot. But for me, I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence and I'm thinking, 22 and 38 overall. He's injury prone.
And the injury proneness did come in to the season last year. He only played in 10 games last year. He's played in pretty much every single game since then. I think maybe one game he may have missed like 2 years ago. But I'm kind of with you on the injury prone part. Like, I'm just kind of weary, and it may be going back to his Clemson days as well.
It does.
And I think it's because we've paid attention to Clemson so much in the state of Alabama, because you always knew that it was basically going to be Alabama and Clemson facing off at some point in time for the national championship that season. So you paid attention to them a lot more than what they did. 69 touchdown passes. He's thrown over double digits in interceptions multiple times.
I think he would be better than Russell Wilson. I think he would be better than a Justin Fields. For the Jets, I definitely think he'd be better than any of the second or third strings over there. It's just, how much are they going to get him for? And then on top of that, is Mac Jones going to be the guy for the Jags? I mean, is it going to be something where we see Jacksonville now go for a quarterback in this upcoming draft, which is definitely a possibility.
Mac Jones is awful. There's no other way to sugarcoat
Joe,
that. He is awful.
It depends on the team. It really does.
He is awful. And so, no, he should not be a starting quarterback in the NFL. He is horrible.
I could list off a lot of different backups and make you figure out who that best starting quarterback would be.
Go to the phones.
Either way, we got Jeff on the phone lines. Jeff, how you doing today, man? Jeff?
Yes, how you doing, guys?
What's going on, sir?
Well, I just want to say, you're talking about the Jags. I guess Liam Cohen's going to call the plays, so we'll find that out. Who the play caller is in the NFL, I guess.
If he trades him away, it isn't going to matter who's calling plays.
I don't know what quarterbacks they got. They got Josh Allen on the defensive line. Well, he's not basically. Last name's not Allen. I forget what it is, but he can take
Hines Allen, something like that.
But they got a lot of holes filled, just like the Titans do. Got a lot of holes filled. But what I can't believe, Mr. Hunk, is you don't watch any pregame stuff. No pregame football. My goodness. No college game day. Lord.
No.
You don't watch Nick Saban Florida. What's wrong?
I have it on in the background. If anything, like college game day, but for the games themselves, no. I want to know the moment it kicks. That's all I care about.
One of the moment it tips off, you want another moment it kicks. We see that.
I'm sorry. The moment it kicks, the moment it tips off, first pitch,
no holiday,
drop.
No holiday Final Four for the Super Bowl, and I'm telling you, heck no, we're not doing it.
Well, there's a reason for that, because 124 million people watch the Super Bowl and only 20-something million watches it. Then don't say it if you don't want the truth.
I don't care, son. You do it for all or nothing. You do it for the Final Four.
You don't.
Super Bowl. Sorry, you're not getting it then. Tough.
No, it's reason.
No. We got enough federal holidays now. We don't need any more. You just go to sleep on Monday. You don't do anything anyway. Go to sleep on Monday.
Oh, that's
Take
it.
that
No,
mohawk, shave it off.
no.
Shave that mohawk off. Might be better looking for you.
Yeah.
No hair and that mohawk you got. So that's the same.
In between.
All right. So I say,
Go with hair.
I'm the one that one drive from Nashville to Hazel Green. That's just a terrible drive, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, did it for 4 years.
Well, I mean, I guess it was tough on you, wasn't it? I guess gas price put that out. And pretty much saved on gas.
No,
they were pretty high.
No, they were high. I
Good
just have an
times.
electric
All right,
car.
okay. Well, you get your wife to give you some, but I know your wife was bothered though. She must have been something happened to her because she got pregnant during that time. I wonder who got her pregnant. I wonder what died about that.
Jeff, I swear to God, my friend, if you want to keep going down that avenue, I swear to you.
Let's stick to the sports.
You may want to
Well,
move
we'll
on to a
stick-
different
we'll
topic.
stick forward.
You
Let me
may
ask
want to
you-
move on
let
to
me
a
ask
different
you,
topic and keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Why is Alabama and Auburn not in prime time Saturday? I wonder why.
No. Stop. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Do you understand me? Do you understand? Either shut your mouth and don't call back or keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Do you understand what I'm saying? Thank you. Shut your mouth and shut up.
My question.
Jeff, I'm telling you right now.
You answer my question or not?
No, I don't really give a crap about your question. I don't care about if you ever call into this radio station again. If you mention my wife's name again and you say anything like what you just did, you keep that out of your mouth. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Shut up and hang up on him. I don't give a crap about what Jeff ever has to say ever again.
I can understand that, Joe. But he did bring up an interesting point. Alabama versus Auburn, 3 p.m. game. That's when it tips off. It's not going to be that Kentucky versus Texas at 7 p.m. It's not going to be the Michigan State versus Illinois. All right, let's try and reel it back in.
I'm telling you right now.
Trust me, I knew exactly.
I'm telling you right now
where your mind went.
There's a lot of bickering and there's all that. That's fun. You start saying things like that about my family and about my wife. Yeah, I don't care if he ever calls again. I do not care one bit.
I gotcha. Well, we got a real bank in.
I know.
Right.
I know we do. I know.
Alabama Auburn is a 3 p.m. tip off. That's not Jeff.
No, it's not Jeff. And even if it is Jeff, he's never getting on that phone ever again. I'm never taking a phone call from that man ever again. Do not care one bit whatever that man has to say. 256-576-4977. As we continue, you can always watch the Blitz as well as anything else on WZZN TV. You can also sit and listen on ESPN Winchester and that 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. And I promise you, as you're wanting to download that app, because you will get the Charger basketball, you're also going to be getting Huntsville Havoc basketball or hockey as well, as the Havoc are back in town in that. But yes, Alabama and Auburn tipping off. You'll be able to hear it on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Do you think there's a reason why it's a 3 p.m.? Do you think it's that big of a deal? I mean, it's a weekend game. Everybody's going to be watching basketball regardless. This is one that I don't even think needs to be in prime time to get the prime time viewership. No.
This is and it's 3:00 on a Saturday in the middle of the day. And I think that is going to be a place where they are going to be knowing that a lot of people are going to be paying attention because we're kind of conditioned to watch a game at 3:00.
And plus, on top of that, College Game Day going to be on location. So it's going to start the day off there. It's going to finish right then. And then we're going to, of course, get a lot of the SEC matchups later on, as well as some of those scattered games within the Big 12 as well as the Big 10. But we do head back to the phone lines.
Absolutely.
Got John on with us. John, how you doing, man?
John.
Hey, John.
Hey.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Going pretty good, bro.
It's John Honey. What's up, Joe?
How's it going, man?
Yeah, that was. I mean, you kind of held it together there. You better watch out. He may have a sling blade,
Oh, trust me, he may have one. I'm telling you, it may absolutely, and I appreciate that because trust me, John knows me and he's seen me fired up multiple times before. I'm like one of these people that I start to like shake.
It doesn't happen often.
No,
it doesn't.
I think that's actually the first time I've ever gotten mad on the radio. I
Seems
really think
tell.
so. Yeah,
I could tell, buddy. It was that was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was, man. It absolutely was. What's going on, bro?
But every time I hear that guy call in, it sounds like I'm listening to a Sling Blade movie.
Oh no, it does. It's seriously, you're having to sit there and thinking like, okay, what is he saying? Is it English? What is happening with everything?
I zone out every once in a
Yeah,
while.
no, absolutely. No, and I just sit back a lot of times and listen to it, just going like, all right, man, whenever he gets done, all right, we're going to move on.
There's a dude I know up in Winchester. We call him Jibo. You kind of get the rest of the story with that one.
Yeah. Anyways, I think the 3 o'clock spot, perfect. I mean,
yeah,
not many. I don't sit around and watch basketball at 7 p.m.
No.
Sorry, it's just too late in the day. I mean, football, got a good college football game at 7. I'm there, but middle of the day is about all you're going to get for basketball. That's how I feel. Other people may check it out 7 or 8 o'clock at night, but by then it's on to something else.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I think it is one of those things. It's one of those sports as well that you can sit down, watch, knock it out, and then go on from there. Whereas I feel like whenever you get a big football game, that's more of an event that you really want to just take in, and that one you usually want to finish off the night with.
Yeah, you're not usually inviting people over and having a cookout and stuff like that. This is football country. I mean, and Bama and Auburn's basketball teams are phenomenal right now. I mean, phenomenal. But it's still football country, and but I'm enjoying basketball. The last few years have been great. But yeah, I usually record a game and watch it later.
Yeah.
But because it's just not top of my priority.
No, and at 7 o'clock at night, by that point in time, man, I'm like dead. I mean, seriously, I'm like, dude, I can't even focus on the game. I have it on as background noise.
Nowadays, with the schedule that we have, Joe, I'm right there with you.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm like 7 o'clock, like even the Bama game that tipped off at 8 the other night.
Dude, I couldn't even make the post for it. By the time it was over, I was asleep.
Yeah, I recorded that game. Definitely not watching 8 o'clock. Just recorded it and checked the score in the morning and went back and checked it out. But it's just really hard to do those late basketball games.
Oh, give me 3 o'clock, man. I'm ready to go at 3 o'clock. I'll be ready on this one. I'll be set, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, John, we appreciate it, man. Thanks so much, bro. All right. Yeah.
And that is an interesting thing that he threw out there. He still focuses on it like it is football country. And I'm the same exact way. I feel like there's no way you can take the football out of this area, even when, of course, basketball is at an all-time high. I mean, you have Auburn, you have Alabama, you have UAH. I mean, there's plenty of things going on with UNA as well. There's a lot to like about the basketball, but I feel like the general consensus from the Southeast right now, Joe, is that, yes, people love what's going on in basketball. They're entertained by it. Of course, it's great to see this type of matchup happening. But again, in the back of our minds, we're just thinking about Alabama football being back to the top, or Auburn getting back onto their footing.
So let me ask you, is there anything, because this game is tipping off at 3 o'clock on Saturday. It's 1 versus 1. I don't care, 1 versus 2. Both teams are ranked number 1 in a different poll.
Yeah.
It's 1 versus 1. Is there anything in any way that this basketball game could ever get you as hyped as an Iron Bowl football game?
Especially if it's a 1 versus 2 in football. Geez.
That's what I'm saying is look at how excited we get on a normal November day.
Yeah.
On Iron Bowl Saturday, or there was a couple of days where it was Iron Bowl Friday. Yeah, because it happened on Black Friday. It was weird.
It was back in the day.
But it was, is there any way imaginable that they could get you as hyped for the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country to play each other in basketball between Alabama and Auburn and get you as hyped as what happened in any time in November? 256-576-4977 as we continue on the Blitz on this Thursday morning on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Drive.
Both those guys have done a good job in what we've asked them to do, and both of them have developed nicely, and both of them have consistently made plays.
Wes and Steve.
Their decision-making, their judgment, their ability not to force things and take what the defense gives and distribute the ball with good decision-making, down in, down out, is probably the only thing that's going to be any different about them, because it's not physical ability or talent. So it's intangibles, leadership, decision-making, judgment, and all those types of things. And, both guys have done a good job in that regard as well.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton each weekday afternoon starting at 5. We are your home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone. Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long.
So when we came out of the timeout, Coach Hedge had initially called a man play, and they ended up faking a zone. So the whole bench was yelling zone, zone, zone. So we tried to switch the play last second. We ended up getting confused. So Tommy swung it to me, and I initially was like, all right, I'm going to try and get to the rim right here. We're only down 2. We don't need a 3. And he flipped his hips real hard, and I crossed it back, and as soon as I let it go, I knew it was in.
Campbell to plug it in. 81-79 Union. Inbounds it goes. Dribbling it out from Tommy Murr. Swings it over to Campbell. Campbell on the wing for the lead. Oh, my God! Campbell! It's a 3! Into the front court for the win! No good! No good! No good! Blake Campbell with some onions from Jackson, Tennessee!
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone with my friend Brandon Pilcher from Pilcher's Appraisals. Brandon, what exactly do you do?
Steve, I'm an appraiser. I can value a property for you if you're potentially going to sell, and that valuation could also be used to help you with your property taxes.
Thanks, Brandon. Brandon is licensed in Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. You can contact him at 706-936-3766. Call or text.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper and heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack Mr. Magic Molly Mall. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Smoking when
If you are an NFL fan, just know that the New York Jets will officially have a brand new quarterback on the line next season, as the New York Jets have informed Aaron Rodgers. My wife's calling me now. I think she went back and watched.
Fired up here on a Thursday.
Pretty sure she just went back and watched on WZZN TV. You can, it's easy to rewind, and you can kind of see things that have went and took place.
That's what we love about our on-demand options here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Absolutely. So and part of those is the fact that you'll be able to go back and watch Talking Ball from this morning and or listen, no matter where you are, wherever you get your podcast. You can also go back and watch the part of the Blitz that you have missed, possibly that just missed about 10 minutes ago. And also want to make sure that you can watch The Drive as well. Now we are also back on Facebook.
Yes.
So you can watch there as well as you go throughout your day. And just throw us up like on the computer, open up another tab, and then boom, whenever you want to hop in, we've got the chat and all that going for you as well. So all of those things are taking place. And there is a phone that's ringing right now, because you can call 256-576-4977. But the other part of things that are taking place is something that is not a joke. It is something that is really happening. And I wanted to double check and look at about 16 different sources before I actually said that this was actually a thing, because I thought it was a joke when I first saw it just a few minutes ago. But apparently this is official, because on April 18th, there is going to be an event that I'm pretty sure that anybody who is a degenerate gambler is going to want to pay attention to. And I say this because it is now official, according to Barstool Sports, that Patrick Mahomes will be boxing John Rocker.
What the hell did I walk into? I literally was on the phone for 2 seconds. I'm hearing you. I'm like trying to like listen to what you're saying. And why would Patrick Mahomes? This is official. You said this was official, right?
Yes. Oh, Patrick Mahomes Sr.
Oh, okay. Had to make sure. He's already boxing people on the streets. Why not take it to the mat, you know?
Yeah, so Barstool Sports has made this official that Patrick Mahomes Sr.
Thank you. Okay. I was like, ain't no way Kermit getting in the ring right now.
No, and the thing is that Patrick Mahomes Sr. and John Rocker actually got into it in New Orleans.
And that's what I was talking about.
That's where this is spawning from, but it's at something called Rough and Rowdy. And I'm still trying to research where on earth that is.
Yeah.
But for people that do not know, and there is a little backstory to this. This is it John Rocker being John Rocker and Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes.
This goes back to the MLB.
This goes back to the 1999 season, because Patrick Mahomes Sr. was a member of the New York Mets teams when the Braves and Mets were in that heated race, and John Rocker said the things that he did in the Sports Illustrated, and then they faced each other in the NLCS. And yeah, like that, this is not just hey, you said something about my son. This is a legit rivalry that has been basically brewing for 25 years.
Now it's built up to where they're putting these big old gloves on and we get to pay to view it.
Yes. And so, yes, it is official. It is 100% official.
Well, I cannot wait. We need the dates. We need the times. We need the TV coverage. We need all of that good stuff so we can make a huge deal out of old people fighting
It is going to be Friday, April 18th at somewhere called Rough and Rowdy.
Oh, okay. So it's right before my birthday.
Yeah.
I might be able to make the trip.
It's right before your birthday. It is right before some special days for myself as well. And maybe before I have a child born.
Yeah, and on top of that, the golf classic, the charity golf classic, to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which if you guys have a company, a business that you want to get involved with, of course, just call in 256-576-9077 to be a part of that as we do hop into the phone lines.
Yes.
We got Wolverine Dan on with us. How you doing, Wolverine Dan?
Well, I pay good money so I could punch Mahomie in the face.
Why? There's already a lot of offensive linemen that got to do it during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he got to do it.
The closest you'll get is the punching Bob or his senior, the senior.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes
Yes.
Senior.
And here's the problem. Even if that happened, you'd have to glue his feet to the canvas because I can't catch him.
That is also true. No, it is true. He's gonna have to have some weighted shoes on just so that he can do that. Yeah.
Equal it out. We'll give you weighted gloves.
Yeah.
The other story, that guy needs to be punched, is Aaron Rodgers. You know, listen, guys. You know, as you'll see when you get to be my age. You know, there's limitations to what you could do.
Yeah.
It catches up to you unless you're very fortunate to be extremely healthy and you could do everything you could in your 20s. It just doesn't happen, guys. Aaron, you know, he's had a great career, great quarterback, probably a Hall of Famer, first ballot, very well could be. But, you know, it bothers me. And, you know, I respect the guy because he wants to keep playing. I love that. I love that about a player. But what bothers me is that they go too far, and like Don Mattingly, your father always says all the time how great he was, and then he kept playing with a bad back, and his numbers went down, which might affect him to get in the Hall of Fame.
No.
This point in his career, I would really like to protect that legacy for myself if I was Aaron Rodgers, just because when I get to the point where I can't do anything at all, someone can still wheel me in a wheelchair, go to the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, and see my bus and be a Hall of Famer. That means a lot. As you get older, guys, it's like the other day I called the Father's Show, and I talked about a marinara sauce I made that was so good. Sometimes when you hit a home run at this age, the home run means a lot more. It could be like a one-run homer, but to you it feels like a grand slam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no
doubt.
Oh, absolutely.
And this could be the same thing when I think of him going to, the playoffs. If he took another team to the playoffs, that right there would be that grand slam. That would be something to be intrigued by. But, I mean, this is a 41-year-old quarterback now. We've looked at it many times before with other quarterbacks. Even Joe Flacco's getting up there, 40 years old. And you know kind of where his mind's at compared to Aaron Rodgers. But this is a quarterback that's jumping around from team to team, whereas Aaron Rodgers still trying to be one of the best in the league. And it might be time where, he needs to hang up the jersey before people look at him more like a villain instead of a hero.
And the Giants have not been stellar the last several years. So there could be a lot of pain coming here because if the defense on the other side can get through this offensive line, which a lot of people have, and pounded Jones, the previous quarterback, into the ground, at 41 years old, those layouts on your back, next morning hurt a lot harder, a lot worse than it did when you were younger. But fellas, it bothers me sometimes because he's going to get hurt or something's going to happen where it's really going to mess him up the rest of the days of his life. Unlike a Barry Sanders that left, he said, my owner's not doing nothing for me, which he never did. He should have traded Barry Sanders and put him out and let Barry Sanders, because he contributed a lot to the team and made the team who it was, along with Lomas Brown, one of the offensive linemen. What he should have done, he should have just said, okay, Barry, if you want to, go to a team that's competitive, get your Super Bowl. Thank you so much for what you did for us. And he didn't do that as an owner. And stories like that, and then Aaron Rodgers' story here could be really bad for him down the road. And he's going to have where he can't walk, or he's got some issues like Earl Campbell. So, I mean, it's a violent game, fellas. You know as well as I do. They say one play in the NFL is almost like a car wreck every time ball snaps.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And another player I look at, and one of my favorite, another former Packer, would be Brett Favre. In his final few years, I mean, I just think back to that game against the Bills. It was at the Gophers Stadium. It was snowing.
God, it was like 4 degrees.
And he gets slammed against the ground. And it has to, come into play where it's like, is this a part of the reason why, he is a little bit of the reason he is now? And obviously not in a terrible way, but it still could play a role.
I feel bad for him because the rest of his journey is not going to be good.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be a cure for it, but if not, it's going to be very painful. But you got to, in my closing, you got to love a guy, Brett Favre, that all he wants to do is get on his John Deere with a cold beer and drive around and cut his grass. I like a guy like that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's what a majority of our callers are, and we appreciate that one.
Thanks
stuff.
for that Wolverine edit. And so by the way, Rough and Rowdy is apparently they've phrased themselves as hillbilly boxing chaos.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
You know what? If we wanted to paint the Mahomes family in a better picture, this is exactly what we got to do.
Yeah, no, we already shut the brother up. Now the dad is out, and the dad is going to be again. I understand the rivalry in the boxing fight.
I get that. How did we go from the brother going to jail at one point? I think it was like sexual harassment, sexual assault almost. It wasn't that far, but it was pretty much on that line. He became completely quiet to now his dad making the news headlines more than Patrick Mahomes himself.
Yeah, the brother probably got told to be quiet because Patrick Mahomes probably went to him and said, "Look, man, I'm basically funding your life. If you just shut up, you can go do whatever you want. Just shut up.
Exactly.
Just shut up."
Didn't have to be all over the TikToks.
No. And so, so apparently Barstools is the one that does this. It hasn't even, it's supposed to be April 18th. It's extremely confusing as to even what and if it is.
It's fresh.
It's very fresh. And the Aaron Rodgers thing is even fresher because that was literally seconds ago as we were starting the 10 o'clock hour. And with the Patrick Mahomes thing, with the boxing, that's a whole different avenue of crazy as this is with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, because this isn't about Aaron Rodgers' playing ability. I hope he played in 17 games last year. He threw for a little under 4,000 yards.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, he threw for 3,897 yards. If he plays in like one more game, he passes over 4,000 yards passing. He had 28 touchdown passes, 11 interceptions, which was the third most of his entire career. The most he ever threw was back in 2008, which was his first year as a starter for Green Bay. His second most was his last season in Green Bay, and then he threw 11 interceptions twice. But I say all of that because this has more to do with the culture. He is now starting to move himself into a realm, not because of ability, and I don't want anybody to think of it like that, but he's moving himself to an area that is very similar to the Tim Tebow, the Colin Kaepernick. The distraction off the field is now becoming too much for what is. Now, for both of those, again, the two guys I just mentioned for two opposite reasons, but with Aaron Rodgers, it appears that is because of the off-the-field aura that he has with him.
It's quite a bit.
That kind of just it doesn't justify all the changes that he would want as a quarterback. Because remember, this isn't just that the Jets were saying no to him or they were saying yes to him and brought him in before he got injured in like the fourth play of the season. It was him, his wide receivers. Like they were basically bringing his boys. I always equate it to Adam Sandler movies. Like Adam Sandler does the movies and he gets his boys to come with him. Like, oh, hey, this is the reason right now that Rob Schneider still has a paycheck. Like it's that sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's those things. This is now the Jets saying, okay, we are done with the circus. We're done with all the hype about it. We're done with, in the dark and am I playing and let me go on Pat McAfee and let me be this type of guy. We're done with that.
You'd think that the Jets would already have figured this out back whenever they did sign Tim Tebow back in like 2013. I think
it was. Yeah, no, it was 2000. No, it was actually 2012. I want to say is when they traded for him because it was. I think it was the season after he took the Broncos to the playoffs, if I remember correctly.
Probably, because that was the first team that he hopped on after his time as a starting quarterback. And we all know the whole story about that. John Elway didn't want him.
Yeah, Tim Tebow's with the Jets in 2012. And look, Tebow's reason for him being a distraction is because of how good of a person he is.
He was a superstar.
And how well he is liked and everything else and his beliefs and his faith and everything. Like that's a totally different thing. Yeah. Colin Kaepernick, he became a distraction for a totally different reason. It doesn't matter if you agree or disagree or whatever with it.
I mean, both of them took knees.
But they did. Two totally different reasons. Aaron Rodgers hasn't taken a knee yet.
No.
But it was a thing with this where he is now in that realm of, is the play on the field and the circus off the field, is it worth all the distractions that you are causing? Mm-hmm. Like it's okay if you are, a Deion Sanders and you're flying back and forth between Atlanta and San Francisco or the Falcons and everything else because you're arguably one of the best cornerbacks and secondary players in NFL history.
You're also a cornerback.
Yeah, and exactly. It's different whenever you're talking about, Dennis Rodman, who is going to Vegas and he's then, taking some games off and then, oh, hey, we're going to give you a couple of nights off from the Bulls. And he shows up on Monday Night Nitro and he's over there, member of NWO. And then he comes back with the team. Well, yeah, he's literally still putting up all the rebounds and he's playing the defensive that he is and the defensive player of the year that he always was. Okay, he's playing within the structure. And once he got into the locker room, it wasn't a distraction the same way in which Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers and the distraction that is Aaron Rodgers has now gotten to the point where it's not worth it because it's hurting you more than helping you. And I know the Jets have not made great decisions. Like, I know that. But finally saying, look, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and punt on this, and let's do something different.
He's also, like we said before, 41 years old. That is around the exact same age as Brett Favre whenever his career came to an end with Minnesota. The difference here is there was a lot less of the injuries that came with Aaron Rodgers' career. So Aaron Rodgers has been beat up left and right throughout his time with the Packers. Of course, didn't start his first 3 seasons unlike a Brett Favre, who after Atlanta, I mean, he was thrown right into it. When you look at the stats, because it is very similar, both started at the age of 22 all the way to 41, 71,000 yards, 833.
You saying he goes to the Vikings? Is that what you're trying to say?
I am not saying that.
I'm just double checking
No,
because I mean that's the natural path of a Green Bay Packer quarterback.
If this was a different,
we are looking for a
different
quarterback.
world we're talking about.
JJ McCarthy. I mean,
This is a different world that we're talking about. Then he played 1 year with the Vikings, similar to how Brett Favre played 1 year with the Jets, because there was 2 seasons. One technically, he was injured the whole first season. So maybe you're right. Maybe he has 2 more years in him, and he's going to go to the Vikings.
He's going to go to the Vikings. He's going to win the division. They're going to go and they're going to play in New Orleans against now the Kellen Moore led New Orleans Saints.
The one thing
there's
though,
going to be a bounty gate on his head.
There's no way that he's catching up with the yards, but the touchdown passes is a different story. Brett Favre hit 508 when his career came to an end. Aaron Rodgers has 503.
How many? Let me ask you, because you mentioned that part. How many sacks did Brett Favre take?
He took 571.
Wait.
No,
No, that's Aaron Rodgers.
That's Aaron Rodgers.
That's why I was asking.
Sorry, I jumped the gun. 525.
So Brett Favre, and how many years was he in the NFL?
I'm pretty sure the exact same amount of time.
He was 20 years.
Yeah, I think
the only reason I ask is because Aaron Rodgers has been sacked 571 times. He was sacked 40 times last season. He has been sacked 40 plus times, 4 different times outside of what happened last year. He was sacked 49 times in 18. He was sacked 46 times in 15, 51 times in 12, and 50 times in 2009. So that also plays into the body part that Wolverine Dan was talking about.
And you might think that, the seasons are getting longer. It actually doesn't play too much of a role because we see the least amount of sacks this year in the last 4 years, I would say. I'm getting mixed up right now. He had 40.
New York Jets.
Oh yeah, he had
Green
40
Bay
this
Packer
past season. But then 49 back in 2018. Of course, there was one less game. You go back even farther. He had 51. He was sacked 51 times back in 2012. So and that was, I believe, the most he got sacked outside of the 50 he had in 2009. So just because the seasons are getting longer doesn't mean there's less sacks.
No,
or there's more sacks.
And what this has to do with, like the New York Jets and what they're wanting to plan in going into this NFL draft. I think that this NFL draft has been something that a lot of people are questioning where teams are eventually going to be staying. There's a lot of conversation about trading picks. Part of the Trevor Lawrence decision that the Steelers are kind of looking at potentially trading for him has to do with the fact that the Steelers are potentially going to give up their first round draft pick this year.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to give up their first round draft pick next year. Do you know why?
There's a few guys that they might want to grab. No,
it's because the NFL draft is in Pittsburgh next year.
That would be
so they don't want to give up their first pick, being that they want to make sure they have somebody that they can pick in night 1. So they're not. But with the Jets are 7th overall. Okay, so they have an opportunity to move up, and depending on what they want to do, depending on who they want, because yes, there are at least 2 or 3 quarterbacks that they could reach for. They could potentially try to have a conversation with not the Giants, but the Browns or the Titans about moving up and trying to grab one of those 2 quarterbacks that we're hearing so much about.
Yeah, New York needs a little bit less of the false prophet. Before we go into break, if you're watching on WZZN TV, Joe, I'm just going to jump on it. You get an image, and we'll continue on with that. As we also still need to talk a little Big East as well as ACC.
The image.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. I jumped on this one.
No.
Wanted to prep it for the people.
No, yeah. On WZZN TV right now, we have an image that is up You're definitely going to want to look at this because it's very Dennis Rodman-esque, as a matter of fact.
And you'll find out who's rocking that hairstyle as we continue on and
Yeah.
going into the final break of the Blitz. More to come when we get back here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, as well as WZZN TV.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, deep three,
hard work.
2-on-1, driving, stepping through, top shot, got it to go.
Teamwork.
Playing the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference.
Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
We are your home for Charger basketball.
Tommy Murr swings it over to Campbell. Campbell on the wing for the lead.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Following up on that story, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers, of course, parting ways with the New York Jets. it'll take a little bit of time before it's actually all set in stone, but Adam Schefter just reported that the Jets will face $49 million in dead cap money when it's all said and done. Now, they could save some money if they designate it as I think it's June 1st.
Yeah, June 1st designation. They're going to be able to kind of, because that's the start of the new season. Yep. So right now, everything is still connected to the 2024 season.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they have to. They're most likely going to wait till June 1st so that the cap hit will drop more.
Yeah, just a little bit of money to be saved.
But the problem is that it is also going to mean that they have to be smarter when it comes to free agency as well, because everything has to be connected to the salary cap.
Yeah, and that means the money that they're going to lose is also coming from next season. I think it's supposed to be like $35 million regardless. They might save a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's the NFL. They got plenty of it, even though we will be talking quite a bit about different teams in their dead cap space as we get to see a lot of different teams. As the New England Patriots, I believe, are number one when it comes to the most money, and the Cleveland Browns are sitting around the bottom with the least amount of money because Deshaun Watson.
Well, and they're not at the very bottom because that is the New Orleans Saints who still have like $54 million. They're $54 million in the red, I believe.
I mean, the Derek Carr thing, there's a lot of different conversations we can have because I know Sam Darnold is on the top of a lot of free agency boards, and a lot of people are thinking that he's going to be picked up, get a big contract, and I'm just thinking, this seems like another Kirk Cousins situation, Joe. It really does. And not because the Vikings just had Kirk Cousins, but because it's a quarterback that you feel like should be a backup starting for football teams. And he had one good season.
He did have one good season, and they're so desperate in trying to find that next great quarterback that they're going to take a flyer on a lot of guys.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't think he should be taken, especially not with a $49 million contract, but other teams might say otherwise. Before we get out of here, I wanted to throw this thought at you, Joe, and this is something that could simmer in the listeners' minds as well. But Rick Pitino also calling for a Big East ACC combination just in basketball, because we brought it up before. West Virginia's Pat White joining Rich Rod over at West Virginia. West Virginia back in the early 2000s. He used to be a part of that Big East Conference. It is dissolved. It doesn't exist. It's the All-American, American Conference, whatever you want to call it. And now we're looking forward to what the future of college basketball can be. And it might be in the form of some mega conferences similar to the SEC and Big Ten conversation.
Well, I don't understand the reason why we can't have something very similar to what we see with some teams in college athletics whenever you're at a school and there's not enough teams or something that has your sport. Like, why can't we do something like that? Yeah. Like, just because you're in the SEC in basketball, it doesn't mean you got to be in the SEC in football, does it? Or, what I'm saying?
It means more, though.
Well, no, now, as far as basketball and all the sports, as far as the male sports for the SEC, and even with some of the women's sports like softball, yes, you absolutely would want to be in the SEC. Mm-hmm. But there are some sports that it may be better for you to be in another conference.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like, think about it. Like, there are a lot of club hockey teams, and again, we don't talk about them a lot, but in fact, Alabama plays down in Pelham, right where the Birmingham Bulls play.
Yeah. Like,
they play in the same arena. Auburn plays over in Auburn. Like, they have club teams, but if they wanted to go D3 or if they wanted to go D1, it's not like the SEC has hockey.
Yeah.
Would then want to, join another conference?
Kind of wish it was the case that the SEC was making a bigger deal out of the sport on the ice, because just imagine seeing SEC in the middle of a big old ice rink and we get the SEC championship. But of course, it's just not the case over in the conference. But regardless of that, it's definitely some food for thought. Rick Pitino isn't the first one to think about this idea, as back in, I would say, 4 or 5 months ago, Duke's head coach also brought up the same type of conversation about the Big East and the ACC joining. So it would be separate from the football scene. Obviously, it'd have to be. But even if it is the case, I don't think it would even have 50% of the hype that SEC and Big Ten combination would be in the football scene.
No, absolutely.
It's just not the strength. The strength of these conferences does not compare, I would say, to what we're seeing over in the football.
No. Now, also, we've said on WZZN TV, you're going to want to pay attention. You want to go over to WZZN TV because John showed this at the very end of the break. All right. And this is a picture.
Woo! It's not a haircut, Joe. It's just a buzz cut with some spray paint.
It is a buzz cut with spray paint, and it's very Dennis Rodman-like. Do you know who this is?
I have no clue. It's a
Okay.
redneck, so he might be from the South.
No, he's not, nor is he going to be a part of Rough and Rowdy boxing.
He should be.
He should be. This is the back of the head of the Chicago Cubs outfielder, and his name is Pete Crow Armstrong.
Well, it's a strong name.
It is a very long name, and trust me, this is about to get a little bit crazier.
Steve,
because
you want to rock that haircut?
you want us to do that for bleach your hair and throw the star on it. Okay,
It match with UAH.
Now, yeah, it would. Now, Pete Crow Armstrong, for a lot of people that are also going to see him this year, you're going to see him for multiple reasons in baseball, because the Nike has brought back the old uniforms, and they have now the bigger lettering on the back, which means that Crow Armstrong is going to be like a big, gigantic arch on the back of the Chicago Cubs jersey. Now, there's multiple reasons I'm bringing this up. One, do you know who he is the son of?
Lance Armstrong.
No,
Okay.
he has both testicles. Said the medical term.
It's got to be an Armstrong.
It kind of is.
Bruce Armstrong.
No, he is the son, and this is where we're tying it all back into sports. He is the son of Ashley Crow.
Oh,
you have no idea. It's okay.
A famous WNBA player.
She was an actress.
Oh, okay.
That played the mom in the movie Little Big League.
Oh, okay.
Where her son became the owner of the Minnesota Twins. She is also an Auburn grad, and she was born in Birmingham.
There you go. That's how it's all tied in to the North Alabama, just Alabama in general area. All right. Well, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it like how Ashley Crow did it in her 1999 film, and that's Going Home, because that's what I'm about to do when we wrap this thing up.
You are.
Me, Joe Hunk, as always, here on the Blitz. Look forward to Tom Abraham coming up next.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our new